on GBN Television. Those of you on our social media platforms, you can find us on Facebook, GBN Television Facebook page, and GBN Television YouTube channel. We're also streaming online on www.gbn.gd. You can follow us on all our platforms, radio and television. It's the mid-morning buzz. It kicks off now on the viewing platform. We want to invite Miss Chriselle Benjamin Jerome. She is the communications officer of the Grenada Development Bank to the program. And as you've been hearing, the bank has a promotion ongoing where persons in need of funding, especially in the tourism industry, they always have funding. But especially if you're in the tourism industry, there is a special on for you. So I'm going to invite Miss Benjamin. Good morning and welcome.
The problem, especially since we were talking just now before the program. Okay, all right.
A little button on the inside I didn't touch. Sorry, Krista, but we're hearing you loud and clear. Okay. So how are you? It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm good. How have you been?
We're good here. Once I have music, I'm happy. So I just had a full hour of local music here, and I keep saying, "Oh, people are so talented." So yeah, I'm super good this morning.
I'm good too. We're getting a little rain. It's been quite hot for the last week and a half or so, but rain is falling right now.
It is.
It is.
I can't hear. We're so safe up here. We don't even know when it's raining.
but I can hear it.
You can hear it.
It's nice to have a little rain.
Okay, nice. Because the heat I think it was getting to some of us. So, Chriselle, we understand that GDB has an ongoing promotion where people in the small hoteliers, they can get some needed funds to prepare their businesses. I see the sector is finally reopening. Tell us a bit more about it.
Okay, so it is an initiative of the government of Grenada. It is a program that was instituted sometime last year, in the first quarter of last year. So it's the Small Hoteliers Loan Fund. And because of COVID-19, we are aware of the hardships experienced by the hoteliers and by, the entire population, right? So when the Prime Minister gave his speech regarding the stimulus for the nation, and in order for us to pick up, to get back on our feet after COVID-19, there were some adjustments that were made to the Small Hoteliers Loan. And like you rightly said, the tourism industry is starting to pick up. And in order for us to be able to continue or go back to giving the best tourism product possible, the small hoteliers can access funds to ensure that their property is up to date. You know, when the properties were closed since March.
Yes, for the most part.
Yes, you know, there probably was no maintenance. The grass overgrew, the pool needed to be, so all of these things had happened because of people being at home and them not having any guests. So one of the things that the small hoteliers can do with funds from that loan facility is ensure that their property is up to date so they can upgrade their property. That includes furnishing, fixtures, fittings, appliances, equipment, etc. They can also use it for marketing. Now, because of what had happened in the tourism industry, I can imagine people who like to travel, they are now questioning what can I do? Where can I go? I would like to travel, but I would like to be away from the crowd. I would like to experience a different culture, but hello, I can't do it the way that I used to a couple years ago, or even a couple months ago for that matter. So maybe as a small hotelier, you're listening and you're wondering, okay, what can I do? That fund can be used for marketing. So probably what we need to do as a country and what you need to do as a small hotelier is come up with a different plan for your marketing. Show your visitors something different, because maybe if it is that they can come in and they can experience Grenada, but in a safe environment, they may just come. So let us look at a different kind of marketing and ensure that our visitors are safe, and not to mention our population. Because as a tourist, you will be going out into the different communities. You probably may go to the markets or whatnot. So we also need to take that into consideration. So marketing is one of the things that can be used. Training is another thing that the fund can be used for. How do you ensure that your employees are up to date with all the necessary information and whatnot? Teach them. So training, yes. Another thing that the fund can be used for is the adoption of green initiatives. Janelle, everything these days, green, green, green. Sustainable things, environmentally friendly.
We have to become more conscious. We have to.
Thank you. The possibilities are endless. And I can start naming examples, but I'm not so sure how far I would get, because there are so many things that we can undertake when thinking about climate change, when thinking about adaptation, when thinking about mitigation. So as a hotelier, you may want to think, okay, how am I operating now? What would I like to change? Where can I limit the amount of energy that I use around my building? Where can I reduce the amount of water that I use around my building? Where can I institute probably the energy efficiency appliances, whatever the case may be? You can receive the funds for projects such as these. And it's one that has not been there before because there was no reason to. But COVID-19 adaptation methods, we don't know what they are. You may. I've been walking around and I see that some people are being very creative. I think I went to Spiceland Mall and there was a hand sanitizer
dispenser. Yes.
But I had to use my foot.
Yes.
And I step on it and I put and it was very creative.
Yes.
And these are the things that we need these days. So before, we were not thinking of putting hand sanitizers at the front desk, putting hand sanitizers in the room, maybe instituting the motion sensor faucets. But nowadays we are very conscious about not touching this, not touching that, washing our hands. So maybe instituting the motion sensor hand sanitizer, the motion sensor faucets, maybe these can be considered as COVID adaptation initiatives, because we do not know how long. We are presuming that it's going to be a while.
We're hoping for a vaccine, but you know how these things go. You have to have the trial phase, and even if they do have one, we may be the last in line to get it. So we have to do our own preparation locally.
Right, but we do need to ensure that we are prepared for what may come, while hoping that it doesn't. Yes, working capital can also be financed under this fund, because we are aware that the hotels have been closed, there weren't any guests, whatnot, and you may not have been generating any financing. So this is an opportunity for you. We know that the government did provide help to the employees, but I've since heard that it's no more.
Yeah,
so
I understand it was for a 3-month period.
Working capital, taking care of your expenses, that is also another use of the Small Hoteliers Loan Fund. You know,
you mentioned earlier, maybe some renovation and some upkeep of the property. And prior to March, some people may be saying, I have the best property, but 2-3 months of being not in use, you would be surprised at the deterioration that occurs. People not coming in to do the constant cleaning and maintenance. You would be surprised. So if you thought you had it good, you probably should do a little check around your property and just verify the state that it's actually in.
Of course. And Janelle, we don't even have to go as far as a hotel to see this. Sometimes you look at a house in your neighborhood. The person probably went overseas. Let's take, for example, someone who got caught overseas during COVID shutdown. And they've been away for a month and a half, and you're suddenly seeing the grass is overgrown. You're suddenly seeing the cobwebs start forming. You're suddenly seeing you're seeing everything now. So we don't even have to go as far as a hotel to see.
And then you have everyday appliances like machines. I remember I was out of my house for 3 months a couple years ago. I guess parts dry rot, you put it on and it's done. That was it. So but yes, I needed a new machine after 3 months of just simply not using it. And that happens, yeah. So I mean, you outlined quite a bit of things that we can do. So we probably weren't thinking so much about it before, but I'm sure some of the property owners are now second guessing some of the decisions they've made. And they may be thinking, I just may need to get some of that funding after all. What is the limit on it?
Okay, so you can receive a maximum of $300,000. So that is the maximum amount.
300,000.
Yes.
Okay.
And that loan will be administered at an interest rate of 2% in the first year and 3% thereafter.
Okay.
Yes, so that is your maximum. You can get less, but this is the maximum.
Okay. And I know a lot of people just got seriously excited. We don't hear about 2 and 3% loans very often. Can I classify my home as a small hotel? Listen, we have 5 and 6 people in our homes. We just may qualify.
But since you asked that question, Janelle, I'm going to answer your question. What constitutes a small hotel?
Right. Right.
So your hotel must have 50 rooms or less.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a minimum amount of rooms? So 50 or less?
The maximum is 50.
Okay.
50 rooms or less. If you are 50 rooms or less, you are considered a small hotel.
So I can have 5 rooms?
Yes, you can.
I can have 3 rooms. I'm seeing my house fitting in.
Not just yet. Your house fits in under that one criterion.
Right.
So let me tell you.
Okay, tell me the rest.
A minimum of 80% of the room stock must be reserved for traditional hotel operations. And someone may ask right now, what is traditional hotel operations? And I will answer. The kind of hotel operations where you've got a guest, they sleep and they leave, whether it's for one night, whether it's for 2 weeks. We are not speaking about someone who is on a long-term lease or renting, paying a monthly rent. So many of the apartment buildings may not qualify for that if 80% of their room stock doesn't function as a sleep and leave.
Right. Okay, right? Okay.
So Janelle, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. I can't get them to leave. That's a problem. So can't get them to leave. So I think we're out. Good,
but you know what? You are a Grenadian citizen, yes? All right, so maybe there is some hope for you yet, because the owners must be Grenadian citizens.
Oh,
you must be
Grenadian.
Yes, you must be tax compliant, of course. You must be licensed or registered with the GTA. Remember, Grenada Tourism Authority.
Okay.
I want to say the Bible on tourism in Grenada. That is the authority that is responsible for all tourism activities. So, Janelle, if your house is not registered with the Grenada Tourism Authority, I'm not sure how it is we can help you.
Right. I think I'm seeing some stumbling blocks. So they don't leave and we're not registered. So I think we're out of it. Can people...
You need to make them leave and come back next week.
Ideas. I'm not shutting them down at all. Listen, can people who offer the Airbnb service, can they qualify?
as long as they fit into those the criteria that we just spoke about, we would also be working with a technical team. So the
Okay.
technical team would look at what it is. You need to look at also the Bureau of Standards. Remember, the Tourism Authority also works with the Bureau of Standards because we need to have standards in everything that we do. So should Tourism Authority expect you to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things in place and you do not, then we may have a problem.
Okay.
You understand? So we need to follow, we are a law-abiding institution, so we need to follow the laws that are set even when we are doing our loans.
Okay. Even if maybe the loan is to bring me up to code so I can meet those requirements.
And this is something that we do. I have had someone said to me before, they said, listen, when I got in there, the loans officer said, no, this is not so, you can't do this, this is what you should be doing. They walked. And the gentleman said, when I came in the first time, I came in the second time, she walked with me. She said, get this, get that. And this is what we are about. Remember, we are about development. Everything that we do, all our products are designed to ensure that you do develop as a person, that the nation develop, our economy develops. So if it is, we've got to, I've had people go in the farm and meet the farmer.
Right.
You understand? Because you may just need a signature. So you may leave our office on Melville Street and go to Blair's to find the farmer if it's there, if that's where he is. And that is our aim. So as much as possible, we are a law-abiding institution, and our rules and regulations are there for a reason. And sometimes it may feel like a hassle. It may feel as if, why do I have to do this? Or why do I have to do that? Oh, this is so much work. Or why can't I get it this way? And the answer is, stop thinking about the institution wanting it a particular way. Think about you. So Janelle, if it is you came for a loan for rearing of pigs, for example, and you're coming in for a business loan, and the officer said to you, Janelle, do you have a title to the land where it is you want to put your pigs?
Right.
And the officer may say, well, you need title. You need to have the title deed. The land needs to be on your name. Or they may say, if you don't have the title, the person who the land belongs to, they should give you a written document that allows you to do that. And you, as the person who's coming in for the loan, you're a little bit frustrated because this is a lot. And you would ask, why? Oh, are you not for the little people and whatnot and whatnot? We hear these things. And the answer to this is simple. And I like to put it in a scenario so that the person can look at themselves and put themselves in that position. And think about you not having title to that land, or you not having permission to put the pigs on that land, and you've just received a loan. The loan may be $30,000 or $25,000. And you bought your pigs, you ensure that you got all your material, you can make the little pen and put them in there, buy all your feed and everything. Your pigs are just starting to get fat, you feed them, they're nice, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months down the road, you've gotten a loan. Our loans have grace period, and the grace period depends on the type of business that you are in. So we would have given you a grace period so that your pigs are able to grow just enough so that you may be able to sell in 6 or so months. But 3 months down the road, the person didn't give you permission to farm on their land. And they come to you and they're saying, Janelle, I need my land now to build a house. You've got 30 pigs and you've got a loan of $25,000. What are you to do then? You understand? But should you have had a paper, a black and white document that says, I, Jill Brown, gave Janelle McDonald permission to rear pigs on this lot of land in this area for this amount of time.
Right.
Suddenly, you are the one that has the right to the land for this amount of time.
Right.
You understand? And it suddenly works in your favor, doesn't it?
It does. And you know,
So,
just recently, Crystal, we heard a caller on one of our programs here, I think it was To The Point, and he was complaining of a similar matter. He was utilizing a piece of land, I think somewhere in St. Patrick it was, and it was not his, and he admitted it wasn't his, but he's been using it for lots of years. And then somebody else, not even the owner, somebody else began to terrorize him, and he no longer had use of that piece of land. And it's such a risk to start projects on land that is not yours. And some people may say, but I've been doing it for the past 10, I've been doing it for the past whatever amount of years. But unless you have that piece of black and white, so it's good that you ensure when you're handing out monies, because we know people put themselves in expense and they don't want to have to not be in a position to not be able to pay you back. So you have to safeguard. You have to safeguard the loan. We need to take a quick break, Crystal. It's 21 minutes gone past 11. But when we come back, I want to get into how people can access the loan, the process of the application. So just stay with us, folks. We'll be back in a short while on the Mid-Morning Buzz.
Reading is too hard. Reading school books is lame. I'd rather read about children like me and cool things. I can read, but sometimes I don't even know why I have to. It makes no sense.
Why can't we read about things we like?
Reading is the key to unlocking all learning and ensuring that children reach their potential. Here's what the children have to say.
Make reading fun.
Teach me how to read, but let me practice reading with things I like to read. Talk with me and read with me at least for a short time every day.
Let me tell you my own stories.
Read, learn, grow. The children are the future. Help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development.
The following are a list of food items to have on hand amidst COVID-19. Perishables like vegetables, fruits, provisions, and eggs. You are advised to stock perishable items to last up to 2 weeks. Non-perishable items including dry goods like cereals, flour, cornmeal, oats, rice, pasta, nuts, and nut butters like peanut butter, crackers, canned or frozen meats, ready-to-eat canned meats, powdered or canned milk, dried peas and beans, canned fruits in natural juices, 100% canned fruit juices, and canned vegetables. You can stock non-perishable food items to last up to 1 month. Store bottled or clean drinking water, 1 gallon or more per day per person. If you suffer from a medical condition, have prescribed medications on hand. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council as we battle COVID-19.
We believe this new virus spreads mostly from person to person through respiratory droplets produced when someone who is sick coughs or sneezes. This is similar to how flu and other respiratory illnesses spread. These droplets can land in the mouth or nose of people nearby, or possibly be inhaled into the lungs. Most person-to-person spread happens when people are in close contact. It's also possible that this virus can spread when someone touches a contaminated surface and then touches the mouth, nose, or eyes.
EC Polymer Notes. our new money.
Here's how you can detect genuine EC polymer notes. Feel. Polymer notes feel smoother than the material from which paper notes are made. Also, the front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you. Look for the clear window at the front and back of each note. This window allows you to see through the notes. If you hold the notes up to the light, you'll see the value of the note in an area of plain colored print. Tilt. A holographic foil is on the $100, $50, and $20. The images move and their colors change when you tilt the notes. Remember, detecting genuine EC polymer notes is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Feel, look, and tilt.
EC polymer notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
Breaking barriers. Going beyond the ordinary. Examining the stories beyond what meets the eyes. GBN gets to the meat of the matter. Join us on GBN Television, Classic Radio, gbn.gd, or on Facebook via your smartphones and other devices. We take you beyond the headlines every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. We are GBN, rated number 1.
Feel good tax.
Officer at the Grenada Development Bank, and this morning we are speaking about some financing that is available for small hoteliers and the process of getting it, the do's and the don'ts, what you should have, what you shouldn't have, what you should be aware of. We heard that it's a very, very low interest rate. One of our listeners was concerned, Chriselle, that it may be just a scheme where people get we hear the term a lot, free money. But I mean, it's low interest, but free money, and a waste of taxpayers' money. Do you have systems in place to ensure that the people who are benefiting from the program repay it?
Of course. All our loans have terms and conditions that need to be met even before any one of the beneficiaries receive even $1, Janelle.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got security. So the loan need to be secure. There are options for security. So it's not a one size fits all. Your situation may not be the same as my situation. So there are options for security. So there can be a legal mortgage that can be used as security. We've got a cash surrender value on life insurance policies. We have a lien on cash, and there is a particular amount of cash that we would accept that can be used as a personal guarantee.
Okay.
There is also the option to use a debenture. So a debenture is a signed document. It's a legally binding document, and it basically means anything that belongs to the business, fixed and floating assets.
Okay.
You can receive a particular amount of money unsecured, but with use of a guarantor. Okay. So if it is that your loans officer and our management or board of directors are not satisfied with the security that it is you've got to offer, they will work with you. Can you offer something else? Yes, no. If you can't, then it's quite possible that you will not be receiving that loan. Because we do want to avoid the free money notion. It's not free money. Remember, we are an institution that is here to help everyone. So, Janelle, if we help you, and you do not keep up your end of the bargain. And remember, a loan is a contract. It is a legally binding contract. So if it is that we helped you and you do not keep up your end of the bargain by repaying the loan and repaying it with interest, how can we help Joe? We have not earned anything from the help that we gave to you. So where are we getting the funds to provide Joe with his loan?
Right.
And the rest of GBN for that matter. And the rest of the country for that matter. So we do have to ensure that the security terms are met, that the repayment terms are met. we do have the recoveries process. It's where a word that I used to explain it to someone the other day when they didn't understand was the repo man. I know it sounds kind of harsh, but it's one that is quite, it's out there, and we are familiar with what they do. As to how it's done, that's a different story. But it was a term that when I said that, because when I said, oh, recoveries, the person kind of looked, what does that mean? So I said, the repo man. And she said, oh, right.
Listen, that repo man was dreader.
Yes, we know that it's a harsh kind of yes. But
you're basically coming for your pound of flesh if people default on the loans.
Right. So,
and wait, for full disclosure, in case anybody got the wrong message, nobody at GBN is qualifying for that loan. Nobody, just so you know.
Loan, Janelle,
maybe another loan, not that loan. Nobody at GBN is getting it.
It may be a business loan, it may be an education loan, but at the end of the day, whatever loan it is, we do have our requirements, we do have our security system in place so that you should meet the necessary criteria. And every loan, they've got the different criteria. So we are not judging every loan the same. For education loan, we've got 3 different ones. So you may not fit under option 1, you may fit under option 2 or option 3. You understand? For mortgage, there are many options. For security, so it's all the same.
Okay.
And should it be that you have not kept up your end of the bargain with your repayments and whatnot, we do have recoveries, like I was saying. But recoveries, our aim is never to quote unquote take anything back from you. We don't necessarily want to repossess anything. You understand? So we do work with you. If you can't repay this month or the next month or for the next 6 months for whatever reason, maybe you lost your job, maybe you didn't lose your job, but probably your income in the house have changed for some reason. Maybe you had a medical emergency, whatever the case may be. We will work with you.
Right.
We would. You'd sit with your loans officer, you explain your situation to your loans officer. Your loans officer would work out a payment plan, all of these things. Yes?
That is comforting to know, because especially now it's a very, very challenging time for some families. What is the total amount allocated for the Small Hoteliers project?
For the Small Hoteliers loan. So right now, as of the Prime Minister's speech after COVID-19, an additional 12 million altogether.
12 altogether. So you have that at the GDB, and
let me check. Actually, I think my numbers have gotten a little bit mixed up. It's 7 million. So
7 million.
It was 2.
Okay.
Initially, it was 2 when the loan was instituted in the first quarter of 2019. And then post-COVID, is it right to say post-COVID?
No, we're still in COVID.
As a result of,
yes.
Right. 5 million has been added.
Okay, so a total of 7 million allocated.
A total of 7 million.
So
and
since
we've got a number, a million plus have already been disbursed.
Oh. Okay.
Yes,
so you still have about 5 million plus.
We still do.
Okay.
Because remember, the maximum is 300,000, but the person who's coming for the loan may not need that. So they are allowed to apply for $50,000 if they would need to. They are allowed to apply for 150,000. So you do not necessarily have to apply for 300 if you do not need this.
Right. You know, I would have thought with the industry starting to open back, the airport was open since August, and we're into the season. I see planes. I actually sit at night and count the planes. I see planes flying every night. So I know people.
That's a nice past,
yes. I know, because it's so hot. I'm outside in the veranda a lot. But yes, so I know the industry is starting to reopen and again is becoming active. So I would have thought people would have utilized that full 7 million by now and invested in their properties and are preparing to welcome new guests through their doors.
Well, Janelle, maybe they don't need it.
Maybe they don't need it. So if they don't, can that money be channeled through some other projects, maybe for the farmers and others who may actually need it?
Not unless we've gotten approval from the government of Grenada. Do remember that this initiative is the government initiative. And
Right.
if any changes are to happen with a loan like this, it can't come from us. It would have to be, we can request that it's done, but it would have to be a cabinet decision.
Okay.
It can't be a decision that happens internally.
You know, since before COVID, I think I was hearing you talking about these funds that are available for small hoteliers and so. And I think I heard, was it a tourism minister begging people to take advantage of the opportunity? So I'm going to challenge the newly elected farmers rep in the Senate, Mr. Roderick St. Clair. There are some monies sitting at the GDB, over $5 million. Please make an appeal to get it for the farmers.
Speaking about agriculture, do remember that agriculture loans are always available at Grenada Development Bank.
But not under such great terms. We want it at a 2% kind of rate.
Well, presently, as a result of COVID-19, again, the interest rate for the Small Business Development Fund, and specifically for agriculture, is 3%.
3? Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad,
So,
not bad.
While I'm there, I'm just going to speak on that for 2 minutes.
Right.
So with agriculture, manufacturing, agro-processing, and I believe fishing, the interest rate is 3%. All other sectors remain at 6%. And the amount, the maximum amount you could have gotten as a loan for the Small Business Development Fund was $25,000.
Okay.
That has since been increased to $40,000.
Okay. So the farmers and agro processors, they can get up to 40,000 at a 3%. Okay, so that is pretty awesome, Christelle. You were holding on to that piece. Okay. Or you're giving us in doses. So sorry.
We need to speak with an agenda, because the amount of information that there is, I think we probably would not cover
all in a day
the things that there is to cover if it is we keep going ad hoc.
Right.
So we need to speak with an agenda. But next week I'm back on. I think we have. Is it next week Thursday?
I think it's next Thursday as well, yeah.
Right. So next Thursday, I would like to speak about construction, because we've got something for construction too, for the contractors and whatnot.
Nice. Okay. I'm working with you. And I hope we could speak about the buses too. You've stopped that altogether. You bring the interest rate to 20%.
You would love a 20% interest.
I don't think we need any more buses on the road. We see the struggles they're having now.
I don't think a 20% interest is legal.
But no, I know it's an open market, free enterprise as we like to call it. But I believe there has to be a cap on the industry. It's too many buses on the road. They're rotating now, trying to stay afloat. Have they been repaying their loans with you?
Well, most of our bus owners, if not all, quite possibly all, they have received the moratorium.
Right.
Yes, the moratorium, however, the period is coming to might have come to an end already.
I think it has. Yes.
Now. So, however, there is always the option that there were people, I would not know this because it is customer information, but if it is that the moratorium had ended, and as a bus driver or a homeowner, because you receive moratorium also for as a
mortgages, right?
You can speak with the officer. So some people may have spoken with their officer, and the officer may have provided them added time, because we do understand that the economy has gotten, well, it's open, but we do know that some people, it's going to take them a while to get on their feet, and like you rightly said, the bus sits. So initially, I think we've had that conversation before, you and I. Previously, we had taken a stance that we were not going to provide buses to any of the first-time owners.
Right.
Because it was one
I think we said we were doing certain routes. I think you were doing that. You locked off the Grand Anse routes, but other routes were available. Yeah.
Right, because we were battling the oversaturation that you spoke about. And now we will not, as much as possible, be financing any buses.
Okay.
As much as possible. Maybe if it's a dire situation, maybe the bus driver who's on the route now, he had some problem with his bus and he urgently needs one so that he can continue earning his living, then we can consider that. But as much as possible, because we do understand the people are avoiding buses. I am avoiding buses. From the very day the Prime Minister said avoid public transportation as much as possible, I have not taken a bus until actually this week.
Wow.
Exactly. Right? Because I do have a vehicle, but the parking in town, it's questionable and whatnot. So sometimes it's easier to take the bus. So I take the bus to come to work. But since the Prime Minister had made that announcement, I avoided it. So we've got people avoiding the buses. We've got business places sending their vehicles to pick up the workers. I actually know of 3 business places. They do that, so the employees do not have to go on the buses. We've got people, I know of people who has, since going back to work, they've bought a car, because not only are they trying to avoid the crowds, but the fact that the buses are working on a timetable. It's now taking them so much longer to get from point A to point B. The waiting time is longer. So now they're late for work.
Right.
So it's a lot of little things. And somebody looking on may not see the bigger picture. But
I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it, because I know, as you said, the challenge is outlined for health reasons, we understand, but you also have to look at the over congestion with everybody in their own vehicles, and I mean the traffic situation is, but you know what it is, tied up and bottlenecked in so many places because we have small roads, limited spaces, and too much vehicles on the road. So I mean, the buses are a necessity. I would still encourage people to take the buses, but to follow the protocols. I was just explaining to our audiences before we came live that they now could carry the insurable amounts. So they can carry the insurable amounts, again, full capacity, but you must observe the protocols. The terminal, the wardens, they can actually refuse you entry now into the terminal if you're not wearing your mask. So I think they're making an effort to make sure that people are protected and follow the protocols to keep us safe as much as possible. They're sanitizing stations at the terminal to make sure people clean their hands, and so if you have to touch surfaces in the terminal. So I wouldn't say, I mean, I know people still probably paranoid, some of them in their minds, like you, and you would probably, I know, and it's in your mind, but yeah, I think it's fairly safe, I would say, to utilize public transportation. And I think the Prime Minister made that statement in the early phases when COVID newly came to Grenada and we had active cases and people were scared. People were running scared for a while. I didn't even want people to get too close to me. But I think we've moved past that stage now, and we're adapting and we're following the safety protocols, and by and large, I mean, we hope to God we never see another case in Grenada.
Janelle, we are adapting so much that we have thrown the rules, the laws, the protocols out the window. I walked through town yesterday or day before, and everyone I passed, they were not wearing a mask, and I'm there and I'm like, hold up, wait. But there's is there an announcement that said don't wear your mask anymore? And everyone was looking at me, and of course now I'm feeling self-conscious because I'm the only one wearing a mask. You understand?
It was that bad?
It is that bad.
I'm laughing because I'm a little guilty sometimes. For me, it's the heat. I can't breathe, and I say it's to die or to wear the mask.
I understand.
The heat. So we take it off to breathe for the most part.
When I had to take that bus the other day, the conductor opened the door for me, and I put my hand like this.
Right.
And he looked at me.
And what happened?
Conductor, where is my hand sanitizer? Oh, well, I was disrespected. Oh, what happened to you? You need to go and live in Trinidad.
Are you serious? No, so those like that, you report them because they're supposed to have it. They're supposed to have it. You are within your right then to ask for it.
And that's the thing. And Janelle, everyone in the bus looked at me. And I looked at them.
It's like, where she come out?
Probably 2 people were wearing a mask. And I said to the conductor, I'm not going again.
Right.
The driver looked at me and I felt like I was being ganged up.
No, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. We must follow the protocols. If I enter a building, I would put it on. You go to the supermarkets, wherever you go, you put it on. I mean, sometimes in the street, as we say, we know it's hot and you're walking and sweating and struggling to breathe. You take it off for some air. But once you're getting in confined spaces, you keep you cover your face.
No,
protect those around you. No, we have to do a little better.
I was the odd one out. I was the one that did something wrong by asking for the sanitizer.
I know how we behave, you know. Where she come out? Where she come out? That's how we behave. No, we need to do better, folks. Folks, we need to do better. You know the rules. Please don't break the rules. Follow the rules. In tight spaces, buses, buildings, keep your mask on, sanitize, protect yourself and your family. We're running out of time, Crystal, but I want to get to the process of application process.
Okay,
Take us through.
The application process is it's quite similar to many our normal application process. So you need a business plan. You need the loan proposal. We need to know what it is that you intend to do with the funds that you're requesting.
Right.
So in your business plan or the loan proposal, you're going to tell us about your business. You're going to give us a description of the property. You're going to share your financials with us. You're going to tell us about the project, what project you intend to do, how much it is it's going to cost, what's your schedule, your dates. You're going to start such and such project at this time, and it's going to take this amount of time. All of these things are to be included in your business plan. I spoke about the financials already, your audited financial statement for the last 3 years. Where applicable, if you're doing an energy-related project, we would want details of an energy audit. If it is that you are doing a green initiative, we'd like details of that. All the necessary information. If you're adding a new wing or a new room or a new pool, where are the plans? So we need to know what it is that you are doing.
Okay.
We need to know how much it is that it's going to cost. We need a clear understanding of what the funds are going to be used for. And of course, the officer has the right to ask for any added documents should they need it. Based on the information that it is, you provide, they may say, okay, where's the title deed? They would ask you for the title deed, you would give them your title deed and whatnot. So that's in a nutshell. You do your application form. The application forms are available. The financial declaration forms are available. You'd fill all the necessary documents, and we will be working with some technical people. So we've got the Tourism Authority on board. We've got Finance Ministry, Tourism Ministry, Infrastructure Development, the Bureau of Standards, GIDC on board. So these people are our partners. Should we need them, we can call on them. So for example, if we need the GTA to look at the standards of the building, or that would be the Bureau of Standards, ensure that it meets the tourism capabilities or the standards that is expected by both parties, we will call on them. We'll say, oh, well, Janelle House in Manjaloo, she wants this, and she said that she's doing this. Can you check it to make sure that it is up to date and we can finance it and whatnot. Okay. So this is basically how it would work. Once your loan is ready, it will go to a board of directors for approval. Once your loan is approved, you'll be called. Once every single thing is sorted and settled, you will receive your disbursement. Oh, and we're almost there, Janelle, but today's the 24th of September, and up to the end of September, you can receive a discount, 50% actually, on legal fees.
50%. Okay, nice. Would people need, I know you mentioned earlier that they have to be affiliated with is it the Hotel and Tourism Authority? Would they need any kind of an endorsement from them? Or GTA? Okay. Yes. Would they need an endorsement from them for this project as well?
They have to be registered, yes.
Okay.
So we're looking at the registration.
Okay, we got you. So it's a fairly simple process. It's almost identical to your other loans.
It's like any
Yeah, and you have to, of course, show your ability to repay.
Yes, of course, and that would be the security and the document that
Right.
it is you provide. So all of the information will be taken from the necessary documents that you provided.
Right.
Because remember, when we look at your financial statements, which would be the audited financial statement, it will automatically show where your business stands financially.
Okay.
When we look at your title deed, for example, it would automatically show who the business, the land or the business belongs to.
Right. And like every other loan, as the people say, you want to know all we business. We got
Yes,
you. All we business.
but
All.
remember, like I said, it's for your own good.
It's for your protection and make sure that you have the ability to repay for the most part. Thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. We appreciate, and we will continue discussions next week. We will look at other sectors and how they're doing and how you can support them at the GDB. Thank you so much, folks.
Very welcome.
Thank you. Our special guest this morning, Ms. Chriselle Benjamin Jerome, the Communications Officer at the Grenada Development Bank. We have to leave it here. It's 9 minutes to the midday hour, 9 minutes to 12. Stay with us at the top of the hour. We have the midday edition of news with Beverly Telesford. I'm Janelle. Have a fantastic Thursday. I hear it's raining on the outside, so you probably need to walk with your umbrellas. And so if you're going out to lunch, if not, stay inside and enjoy a great day. We keep you company here on K105. Stay with us.